So what I'm about to play, and Ron's going to help me do, is a lyricless song called Unity Village. And it's written by jazz star Pat Metheny. And you would go, what would Pat Metheny know about Unity Village? He pretty much lived there. His family lived just a few miles away, and they entertained there quite a bit as he was growing up. And so he is from Missouri, and so this is his meditation on that actual place. I have been there. It is bucolic. I mean, if you're out there on the perfect Missouri evening, which is just like a perfect South San Francisco evening, you just wait all year long, and this is the one. This is it, where it's not, you're not dripping sweat, and it's just a light breeze, and it just smells so wonderful. So this is a piece about that. It has some jazzier sort of things, so all I want you to do is just close your eyes and imagine what it might look like. There's a sea of green out there, a beautiful tower, and all these magical little meadows as you wander through Unity Village. So that's what we're going to do right now, is wander through. And here we go.
Thank you, Michael. That leads perfectly into our conversation. And today it is a conversation. I didn't prepare a lesson, as we do once a month. It's going to be an open mic time, and we're going to talk about meditation, what your experiences are, or what holds you back from meditation, or how you meditate. Anything to do with meditation is open for discussion today. And I'll start, and I've sort of started having a habit of, as I commute over here to Unity, or if I'm driving anywhere, of just meditating during red lights. I don't close my eyes, obviously, because then I'd hold up traffic, but I try to focus on something beautiful, like a flower or a tree or even a person, and just spend that time as a God-given moment to just stop and breathe. So I invite you now to raise your hands and talk about your experiences with meditation. And if you're on Zoom, put it in the chat and I will read it to everybody at the end. So raise your hands. Great. We already have one person. Vera.
When we had our 75th anniversary, we had an opportunity to donate some money and get a box. And in my box, there was a rosary and a suggestion for prayer. And I use the prayer protection, and I find it very, very calming whenever my mind is going a mile a minute and I just can't seem to settle myself. I just grab that. It's having something in my hand and using my power to just kind of control my thoughts, to meditate on that prayer, to say it repeatedly, that I find really helpful.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
I have two ways of meditation. One, which I obviously do over there, when I'm playing music, and there's an actual study on this, and I think it's funny because it's a book written about it called Idiokinetics, and what it means for someone who's a performer or a player is when you get into the, in theory, zone where you're no longer actually pre-thinking what's going to happen. You're just letting it happen. And for a musician, it is one of the hardest things to enter into, because obviously you don't want to make a mistake. And then when you feel your mind letting go of that guidance, where they're saying, okay, it's going to be this key, okay, this chord would be good, that would be good, how about these notes, and I'll play a 16th note thing right about now. That's way too much. And so when I'm playing with my closest friends that play with me all the time a lot, where we're able to let that sort of just happen. And it's hard to let go, because the first thing you do when you realize that you didn't know what you just played, you want to rein it in. And that's the one thing you don't want to do is control it. You just want to let that happen, because magical things happen. And I've listened to recordings of myself where I'm going, oh yeah, there's that. There's a, what the heck was that? And that's where I know I hit it. So that's idiokinetics in the musical world. And my other world I love to do is I like to hike. And I like to just be out, and I don't like to hike with people. In my business, I get over-socialed. I don't know if you know what that means, but so many people want to talk or, tell me about what they do or their music or their this or their that. And I can handle it for so long, and after a while, so I just need to hear birds and air and the rustle of a lizard running that way and the sound of my feet on the gravel or the trail. That's what I need, and that's when I can come back and re-energize so I can re-socialize, and that's my meditation.
have the blessing of leading meditation where I serve at the Sequoias, San Francisco. And two of the groups that I lead meditation for are in the skilled nursing part of the community and also memory care. And my very favorite is memory care. And it's just a gift to me to be able to be there, to be with the people who are in memory care. And while we're meditating, I'll just look around because I'm responsible for that space. And, you know, to see people with their eyes closed. And what I've noticed is that everyone that I've been around when I've been leading meditation just wants to rest, to let go of everything that's going on in their lives and just breathe a sigh of relief, just let go. And I've noticed that in a lot of people. So anyway, I'm so glad the topic is meditation today. And by the way, I practice it very imperfectly myself, and my mind is jumping around from here to there, but every once in a while, I get that being in that space of communion with God. Thank you.
I had a very magical and miraculous experience during my meditation. I am a Siddha Yoga person, and at one time I went to New York to Fallsburg to the ashram, and it was a months-long meditation program. Well, we sat from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 in the evening in this darkened auditorium, and we meditated. It was quiet, except some people had kriyas, which is a weird sound that they make sometimes. Anyway, after about a week or 2 weeks, I had experienced my guru in my mind's eye, who came and he guided me through my war experiences, because I grew up during the war in Poland, Second World War, and I had many traumatic experiences during that time. So all those pictures came up for me, and my guru was saying, just say the mantra, keep saying the mantra. And I did it, and the pictures disappeared, next picture came in, and we went like that, maybe, I don't know how long, maybe half an hour or so. And at the end of it, I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was like something has been taken off my head. A big stone or something dark. So all those experiences somehow were erased. I don't even think about them anymore. And I thought that was just amazing. I was very grateful that that happened to me.
Oh, behind me.
I find it difficult to meditate because I feel like when I'm trying to meditate, I start thinking about so many things. And it seems like I can still, but I'm kind of like Michael. I think I do it better when I'm outside and I'm just walking, and it seems to be work better for me than just sitting trying to do it in my own place. And well, sometimes I don't like watching the news anymore because it gives me a lot of anxiety. So sometimes I just will turn it off, and then instead of watching the news, I'll try to meditate, but I still have a difficult time. I don't know if anybody has any suggestions.
Well, I think meditation is an individual thing, but yeah. But it sounds like you're working at it, and that's what's important. Yeah. And everybody meditates differently, as we're learning here. Others.
I've been very blessed to have different teachers on my path and they gave me enough courage to try different things. But I did find a wonderful tool that if I'm sitting and I'm asking for answers from the universe or just trying to let things go, that I say over and over again that I accept the divine solution to this situation now. That Carol Joy is a funny little weird human here. I might not have all the answers, but Creator and whatever you call God is within you, and you have inner knowledge. And in talking with people that have some really big difficulties in their life, and they're like, well, how do I know what voice to listen to? And I'm like, the voice that tells you the healthy things, the one that gives you courage, and that you'll know those good things by the fruits that they bear. So if a voice is telling you something negative about something terrible about yourself or things that are going to be coming up in the world, that we can overcome that with light. And so I've just been blessed to have those lessons reinforced over and over.
Anyone else? Oh, sorry, Charles. Turned away the wrong direction.
I enjoy meditating when I'm out in the garden and I'm looking at a snapdragon or a flower. And sometimes I'm driving in a car, look out the window and see the wild mustard and the plants that are blooming, you know. And then I'm in the house, I always have a flower around or something, you know, plants. And I sit and talk to them at night. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Hi. Hello. So ever since I heard about meditation, I have considered myself a 100% failure. And I thought of meditation as something that you need to do for a longer period of time, you know. 1 minute wasn't enough. It had to be, and the longer it got, the better you were at it. And so I was a 100% failure. And it's only in the last couple of weeks that I've begun to feel differently about it. And the first time was with Jerry's story of the creation. I found myself really relaxing and able to focus. And I think it's because I wasn't trying to learn something new. I was just letting it flow. And then last night, Friday night, I saw a show at San Francisco Jazz Center with a dancer. And I think of dancing, you know, as flitting around the stage doing all this stuff. And it wasn't like that at all. It was total rhythm. It was just rhythm. And then I found out the dancer is also a drummer. And he was using his feet to drum. And there was something very quieting about that, something where I didn't have to make any effort to absorb it. It was just there. And then there is, of course, Michael's, I'm going to call it a concerto, but that's not right. But Michael's musical piece today, it just flowed. And I didn't need to think about it. And yet it was wonderful. So maybe I can now judge myself 95%. Thanks.
Anyone else? Let me see if there's anything from Zoom. Oh. Does anybody on Zoom have anything that they want to say about meditation? And yes, Joan, it would be nice if we could see the speakers in the sanctuary. We're working on that. Well, if not, we turn to our time of meditation. that we have every week. And however it works for you, it works for you. So just relax. I suggest you close your eyes if you feel comfortable, or focus them softly downwards. Let's start by taking 3 deep breaths. This is the Unity prayer service that is put out for July. Prayer is a way of recognizing and accepting our oneness with God, by which we are able to transform thoughts and rise above circumstances. We reach within to the light of divine life, love, wisdom, and understanding that we need to in order to harmonize any discords and heal any concerns. We begin by spending a few moments in quiet, quieting our minds and enriching our souls. Established in the center of my being, I am still and peaceful. With every breath, I drop deeper into the center of my being. I settle into the silent yet perceptible presence of God, my source. Waves of peace flow through my body and my mind. I become still. In the silence of prayer, I am peaceful. God is the wisdom that flows as intelligence throughout every cell in my body and every thought in my mind. Centered in divine wisdom, I breathe out thoughts such as I can't or I don't know. I realize I am capable of knowing all I need to know for the moments ahead. I am inspired to think and act in ways that support well-being, flowing from prayer. I tell the truth of divine life to my body and my circumstances. Moving my focus to the light of life within, I become aware of healing energy streaming throughout my body. I remind myself that divine life is irrepressible, eternal, and ever renewing. I say to my body and my circumstances, you are full of life. Focused in faith, I perceive the truth of divine abundance by which I prosper. God is my source of divine ideas, a continuous flow of possibilities. I perceive possibilities through my faculty of faith. I can see through challenging conditions to the truth of divine abundance, and I lift my thoughts to the heights of abundance, where all things are possible. In the light of spiritual understanding, I behold divinity within all beings. Illuminated by the light of spiritual realization, I radiate peace to bless every being in this world. I focus upon the truth that unites us all, the divine origin and essence we share. I say to all beings, I see God in you. As our time of meditation draws to a close, we give thanks for our unity of spirit and oneness with God. Knowing our increasing capacity to embody divine wisdom, life, faith, and understanding, we return to wherever we are, uplifted and re-energized, ready to continue with our days. So now I invite you to just take a moment and maybe wiggle your fingers, move your feet around a little. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And when you're ready, open your eyes and return to wherever you are. Amen.
Yes, it is time. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are an ocean of love. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. And each week we join together in saying one of our statements. And please join with me in saying this week's statement, which is on the screen. Our mission is, we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And in this space, feeling so inspired by our vision, mission, and values, and feeling so enriched by what we've experienced here today, Let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. And as Michael shares another song, you're invited to support this congregation with a check made out to USC, or cash, or by making a donation online. And if you're here in the sanctuary, the ushers will come forward to take your offering. Now, practicing the principle of tithing ourselves as a community, we are pleased to tithe 10% of the offering collected every Sunday to various Unity organizations and to local nonprofits serving our city. So now, hold your offering close to your heart, either in your mind or for real, and take a moment to bless our tithes and love offerings, and say the offering blessing which is on your screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Before I begin this next song, it's called Letter from Home, also by Pat Metheny. So now you know where he lives. And he is approximately my age. Actually, I think he's about 1 year older than me. And so he used to get letters. And I used to get letters. My mother saved them. And let me just say this. I don't like the 19-year-old me when I would read the letters. And I go, God, what a jerk. But there was letters that came to Boston. And so I'm sure Pat got one and was just thinking as he got the letter of what his hometown once again looked like and sounded like. And here it is.
Now please join me in blessing our tithes and love offerings with the prayer on the screen. Spirit of the living God, bless the acts of our hands, our minds, our hearts. May everything offered here at Unity Spiritual Center be a reflection of all that is good within us. Grant us the courage to patiently listen for the stirring of your presence. Enliven our spirits with humor. Fill us with reverence for one another and gratitude for our diversity. May unity, beauty, and truth be the fruit of all we do. And so it is. Amen.